This video is about coaching on the topic of self-worth, in which we carry out an analysis with subsequent interpretation of the results. This coaching is useful if, for example, you have a general problem with your self-worth, want to assert yourself and need to set boundaries, do not possess the necessary basic confidence when facing personal challenges, want to strengthen your self-acceptance and self-love, and if you are looking for inspiration to realize the value of your own life. In our example, we want to support the quality and quantity of sales by Max as a self-employed business owner by optimizing his self-esteem. Max is currently struggling to become financially independent as a self-employed entrepreneur. Despite all his best efforts in the area of marketing and sales, his business is only doing so-so. The big breakthrough is not happening. Max is at a loss to explain why. He possesses all the necessary professional skills after all. We will use an analysis in the information field to find and harmonize any hidden imbalances and unconscious patterns. We start by defining a meaningful focus that describes the goal as precisely as possible. Sometimes a few words or key point are enough, but in most cases it is useful to prepare one or even several sentences. Here are a few examples. I deserve to be wealthy and happy. I am financially successful and a good person at the same time. I love and respect myself. I stand by myself and my abilities and skillfully apply them in the sales process. We choose the last focus sentence for Max in our example. Select all subcategories from the database structure in the self-worth section and use 1, 2, or 3 entries for each. You can, of course, also let your intuition and spontaneous inner impulses guide you when selecting the databases. As you can see from our example, for an analysis based on larger databases, it is recommended to choose several results, because the range of results will be larger. For smaller databases, a single entry is usually sufficient. This way, you can adjust the number of results in a meaningful manner. Our analysis provides a list of results with 6 entries, sorted in descending order of relevance by default. You can, however, adjust this setting individually here and also sort lists by intensity or potency in descending and ascending order. The results of an analysis should always be interpreted in relation to the specified focus. The focus is, so to speak, the core of consciousness and thus the interpretation reference in your analysis in the information field. Let us now take a closer look at the D potencies and C potencies, the cause-effect principles in the analysis list. The first entry in the area of self-acceptance shows with a relevance of 88% that Max has a conscious or unconscious resistance to his own personal growth and the awareness of his personal sales skills. He is a natural, so to speak, bringing with him all the essential characteristics for a successful salesperson, but at the same time holding on to unfounded patterns that limit his growth. A next step would be, for example, to find out what the possible causal barriers in his life may be. We find another cause when we look at the second entry. Here, we recognize unconscious self-sabotage programs related to the theme of success in Max's life. One possible cause could be that these patterns were unconsciously transferred to him by his grandparents or parents and have taken on a life of their own. It used to be that the post-war generation still acted in survival mode, considering a life of abundance and prosperity inconceivable. This belief must be questioned and challenged. In the last entry, we can identify a basic negative mental disposition of Max as a cause. Those who are envious of the financial success of others draw, through resonance, the same negativity and failure into their own lives. Those who think benevolently and positively of the personal qualities and success of others attract those very same qualities and success to their own lives. In doing so, it is important to be sincere and honest. And apparent joy for others only creates resonance with apparent success. It is recommended to teach Max a new spiritual meditation approach because like attracts like. In the third list entry with the C potency, we see that there is a consequence which has practically manifested itself in Max's life. He believes that he does not deserve happiness and success. This belief system should be transformed and implemented as a birthright in the sense of a target description. Through this limiting mindset, which happens mostly unconsciously, Max attracts deficiencies and inadequacy into his life. The penultimate entry represents a further consequence. In this case, we found in our discussion with Max that he is insecure when faced with major challenges, even avoiding them. He has a tendency to compromise on his goals, taking the path of least resistance. This pattern should be recognized and transformed into a harmonious acceptance of challenges. We recommend Max to complete the most difficult task first, so that his mind is then free to master more pleasant and minor issues with joy. Postponing difficulties causes even joyful topics to be completed with a negative mindset, because the difficult challenge that still lays ahead remains constantly in the mind, be it consciously or unconsciously. In summary, we can say that Max has cultivated a lack of awareness due to his personal resistance, unconscious self-sabotage programs, and negative mental patterns, avoiding necessary challenges in relation to his personal sales success. The numbers 15 as well as 4 in both C potencies also indicate that the consequences are noticeable in Max's life, that he is aware of them and can be directly confronted with them due to the high intensity in each case.